Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about your sales display do's and don'ts. Now this is really important because your sales display is going to act as your advertising at the point of purchase. So it's really important that you know what to do and what not to do so that you can obviously make the most money for your branch and for yourself. You want your sales display to appeal visually to your customer because that's what's going to entice them to buy then and there. So your sales display is going to remind your customers what they need and also allow them to picture it in your homes. So again, doing this right is very important, and it's going to make you money and it's going to make us money. So it's win-win for everybody if we get our sales displays to look the best that they can. What we're going to do today is look at examples of correct sales displays and wrong sales displays. We're going to start off with some ones that need some help. So if you look at this one here, you can see that there's no protective wrapping on these appliances. And that's a big no-no. We want to remove the protective wrapping from the appliances, and this will help our customers to be able to picture these items in their homes. Same issue here. Now you can see that the appliances are lined up nicely, but we want to remove that protective wrapping and also the blue tape. And if you see any stickiness left after you remove blue tape, you can use an item like Goo Gone to remove that stickiness. But you want to remove those so that the customer can get a good idea and open and close the stoves and just work with the items to imagine them better in their own homes. What you're looking at here is a claustrophobic sales display, and with this kind of setup, it tells the customer we don't want them to get too close, which is the opposite of what we want to tell them. It also is visually distracting and too much for a customer to process, and so what will happen is the customer will bypass our merchandise entirely because it's just too much to take in. So we want to organize our sales display in a way that doesn't cause this to be simply a fixture of the office that the customer will then overlook entirely. There are a few things I want to point out in this example. The first is that we need to make sure we remove any styrofoam or cardboard from under the appliances. And number two, we want to make sure that we don't hide showcases behind other sales display merchandise. As you can see, as indicated by the person in their line of sight, that showcase in the back is hidden and inaccessible to them. In this example, the 15% off sign covers the merchandise in the case. So it would actually be better to have the sign higher and in a position that doesn't cover up the merchandise, as well as making sure that our decorations are not too distracting so much that they take away from the merchandise that we're trying to sell. So we're starting to get to examples that are really improving. This is a really nice sales display. You can see the TVs are on. Everything looks nice and neat and clean and not too distracting. However, I just want to ensure that you remember that boxes on top shelves need to be empty because they do pose a security risk. So any boxes on top shelves should not have merchandise in them. This is an example of another clean display with a TV on to draw in attention from a customer. The only thing it looks like we're missing here is sales tags. So we want to make sure that we have some sales tags so that the customer can easily find out what sale is going on without having to search or dig or simply wonder. In this example, you can see a clean and organized showcase, not too distracting, not too much in the showcase. The sales tags are there. So this is a really good example of a showcase that is easily visible and nice looking for our customers. This is our last example, and it's a great one. In this example, you can see that the items are clearly marked with sales tags. They're clean, they are easily visible to the customer. The items that we want to move are up front, and they actually all match as far as being seasonal items. You can see towards the back that the other items are also very clearly visible. And so this just represents a really great sales display. You may not all have this much room, and that's okay, but this is a great example for you as to how to lay out your sales display items so that it is the most appealing visually to our customers and so that it helps to entice them to buy then and there. I just want to reiterate that your sales display acts as your advertising for your customer. It needs to appeal to them visually, and it needs to remind them of their needs. If you follow these tips and tricks that we've given you here, you're sure to have a great sales display that will help your customers imagine these items in their home and make those purchases.